Hello everyone, and this is just a super quick little podcast episode as Digimon Adventure, the 2020 series, has been released on Crunchyroll as of a couple of hours ago, and I have just watched it, and we have planned to do a full podcast episode tomorrow morning with my fantastic new co-hosts Stevie and Quinn, and they're both joining us from the Moncast. So we'll be going through the series and rating each episode by how much we like it and ranking each individual episode, similar to how we were doing for the Appmon series. So that's all very exciting, but just as a very brief, completely spoilerless update, is it worth watching? Is the first episode or the series in general worth watching? And I'd say, judging by the first episode, I would say yes, it is worth watching. The episode in general isn't as slow as the first episode of the original series, meaning that we don't get the introduction of 7 human children and 15 Digimon. We only get introduced to 2 children, or possibly 3 or more, but formally introduced we only meet 2 of the characters, and we only get to see around 4 Digimon, so that's the introduction of 4 Digimon. So the story gets to sort of proceed in a way that's a bit more interested in how the characters react to each other, how the characters react to what's going on, the general emotions of the characters that we get to see, and their individual personality, instead of just spending the entire episode learning the names of over 20 different characters, which is that's a lot of characters to learn in the first episode. So this episode takes it, I want to use the word slower, but it's not slower at all. By learning about these characters in a slower fashion, you actually get more of the episode, and it's more exciting, and there's more that gets to happen in an episode, and it's less dull compared to that original episode. So I would say yes, it is worth having a watch of it. It's on Crunchyroll with English subtitles, and it's available in various other territories as well. And it's amazing that we get it only a couple of hours after it's aired in Japan, and that's a huge surprise considering we didn't get Appmon for 2 years. So, if anything, just give it a shot just on the basis that we actually got it. We don't have to watch the Raws from the TV Tokyo like we did with Appmon, and we don't have to try to go through any illegal means. We get it legally and easy just to stream on Crunchyroll, so it's just worth it just on the basis of it's there. And so far from the first episode, that was a fairly strong start to an episode. It wasn't, as I said, it wasn't slow and dull like the original. And guess what? I really loved Appmon. This is a better episode 1 than the episode 1 of Appmon. And that's saying a lot. Like, episode 1 of Appmon really got me in, but for different reasons. And they're reasons I'll go into more when I record the full podcast episode tomorrow morning with Quinn and Stevie. But for now, my thoughts are, it's probably like a 4 out of 5. I'm not sure if that rating will change when I rewatch the episode and when I cover it with Stevie and Quinn. But my initial thoughts after watching that were just, wow, this is promising. This is good. The character designs are great. I love them. The animation is sort of reminiscent of the original series. It's very similar, and it's a nice nostalgic callback. So there's not much to be worried about being a kids show, because yes, it's a kids show, but you can watch it just for the nostalgia, because there's a lot of nostalgia Easter eggs, and there's a lot of nice bits about it, and I can't really say much without spoiling it. But yes, I would recommend watching it if you're sitting there asking yourself, oh, should I give it a go? Is it worth it? Like, yes, it is worth it because it is there. Like, the thing with Appmon is that it wasn't there for 2 years. It wasn't there legally for 2 years. And for this series, it's right here on the same day as it came out in Japan. So definitely give it a shot. With Appmon, I always say, hey, give the first couple of episodes a shot, because it takes a while to get going. But this episode, I would say you could just know whether or not you're going to enjoy this series just by the first episode. Of course, the future episodes aren't out yet, so that could be proven completely false by the following episodes. But just judging by this episode, I have high hopes for this, and I've always been cautiously optimistic when it comes to Digimon releases. I did not really enjoy Try, and when I read the novel for Kazuna, I probably enjoyed that less than Try overall. So I have not liked Digimon before, and meanwhile we've got Atmon, which is still my favourite season of Digimon. And then, we've got ups and downs, so I'm always cautiously optimistic. But I would say that this is worth it. This series so far has a good start, and I'm very much looking forward to covering the rest of the show, and especially the first episode tomorrow morning with Stevie and Quinn. So I hope you look forward to that, and I hope you enjoy the first episode of the Digimon Adventure 2020 series. Alright, bye! So we're basically keeping social media fairly updated, especially our Twitter. So if you want some screenshots or GIFs that I've been making, they're available on our Twitter. And we're also on Facebook and Tumblr and Instagram and YouTube. And we have discussion thread on With the Will. And we usually have a Reddit thread and Digimon subreddit, and we will for the main episode. For now, we have a weekly discussion post in the Digimon subreddit. So definitely check that out. And would appreciate if you review us on any podcast listening app that you use. And check out our website. I just wrote up a blog post about the first episode, so if you want a review with spoilers, then check that out. But otherwise, you can probably wait till we record our podcast episode tomorrow. I expect to have that out probably less than 24 hours from this episode's release, and that's publicly. I'm deciding to really just fast track them. The novel episodes and any other podcast episodes that we do, they will be released as per normal, with the Raws coming out and a couple of weeks early or a week early, and the early episodes coming out on Patreon and so forth. But this time I really want to fast track the Adventure 2020 episodes, but it all seems about how it's released or my own personal schedule and the timing between Stevie, Quinn, and myself, because we're in very different time zones. So yeah, but look forward to it. And the blog post I'll be releasing as the episodes are released. So that's cool, yes. And you can donate to our Patreon, which is in the description, from as little as $1 a month. That gets you access to a listen Discord server, but there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our supporters on Patreon: Joe, Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy, Kurosaki, then the number 1 on YouTube, Stephen Reeves, who is Wildwing64 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Tumblr at Chisai236, Kyle, Tom, Lizmet, who is Elecmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Sam, Spiral, Keith from a computer podcast on the internet, Magnus, and Hemi. You can also make an donation on our PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon, and I also have a Coffee account, which is ko-fi.com/airdra. And I'll see you guys next time, which is less than 24 hours away. Bye!